Hello and welcome to the Enterprise series part 4. So in this series I am looking at ships that bore the name Enterprise, whether it be in the TV shows, movies, and looking at the different shield visuals that Star Trek Online has. So in this video we're looking at the Ambassador class, which we've briefly seen in the Next Generation episode Yesterday's Enterprise as the Enterprise C. So as usual, we will look at the shield visuals, Vanity Shields from the Tier 6 reputations, the Phoenix Store, Zen and the Summer and Winter Event Store, and then we'll also look at the shields that have visuals in the game. So first up we look at the Tier 6 reputation Vanity Shields, and first up is the 8472, which is from the 8472 reputation. So you can see straight away we've got the green glows on the Bajors and the nacelles, and then we also have this bump effect here on the neck. See it a bit better from this angle. Again there, the green there. And then we've got quite a pattern there on the saucer, and again this bumped ridge effect going on the pylons there. And again, same on the underside. Next up is the competitive Wargames Vanity Shield from the competitive Wargames reputation. So straight off the bat we can see big yellow deflector, some different material there on the neck. We've got a lot of yellow lighting going around the saucer. So looking at the side on, we've got these reflective panels over quite a bit of the hull. Then we've got some more yellow lighting, yellow in the phaser strips there around the bridge module, and again you can see these reflective panels dotted about over the nacelles and the engineering hull, and same on the underside. And the Delta Alliance Vanity Shield, extremely green one on this ship. So we have the green deflector, green on the nacelles, green rim around the saucer. We see some patches of green lighting coming over certain parts of the neck and the saucer. Got the green on the impulse engines there as well. Some again green lighting here at the aft of the engineering and dotted around the saucer. Again just some of the green lighting on the underside of the saucer there. So moving on to the Discovery Legends Vanity Shield from the Discovery Rep. This to me always looks like oil and water, just with the effect that it does. It allows your base hull material still to come through. And just that oil effect just seems to change as we go through the light. And here we have the Dyson Joint Command Vanity Shield from the Dyson reputation. So this one is marked with these grooves in the hull with this pink lighting effect. Bit pink there on the aft. Always seems to be the saucers affecting this model. I don't know if that is intentional or if it is an oversight with it. It's something I'll feed into Deca and ask about. And here we have the Gamma Vanity Shield from the Gamma reputation. So this is the metallic purple one. I see extremely purple throughout the ship, the Bajors, the nacelles, the deflector. as we rotate through the light, you can see it reflecting there. Purple on the phaser strips and leaving the escape pods in the white or the off-white colour, and then that purple ring around the saucer. And here we have the Iconian resistance Vanity Shield from the Iconian reputation. So it's got some nice patterns there on the underside of the saucer that we'll see shortly. Got a pinkish colour to the bazaars and the cells and the deflector there. Same there with the impulse. Again, not much in the way of pattern on the secondary hull. It seems to be only on the saucer. And even then it looks like this line here is put it off slightly. Just had a quick flick through there on the other skins. So the Ambassador and the Yamaguchi seem to not have anything applied to the secondary hull, but when you get to the Narandra, you can see there it's got the pattern on the secondary hull, and same there with the Horatio, which is the legendary skin for the Ambassador class. Next up is the Lukari Restoration Initiative Vanity Shield from Lukari Rep. So this makes your ship look like a Lukari one from several of the missions that feature them. So we've got the purple here on the bazaars, we've got purple and white on the deflector, and you see the pink there on the nacelles. Better view from the back here. We've got a spectrum going across the impulse engines and some lights here on the rear of the neck. And a coloured outline here on the neck with a different pattern to the hull. Again, the main body doesn't have much affected by this shield, so I'm beginning to think it is a bug with the Ambassador and the Yamaguchi bodies on this ship. As you rotate through there, you can see some of the light reflecting off it, changing it slightly. Now we come to the new Romulus Reman Vanity Shield from the new Romulus reputation. So this one's got these lighting panels here showing on the neck. You can see a bit here on the shots for the pylons for the nacelles. So we've got the green on the bazaar and the nacelles themselves. Same green for the impulse engines. A bit more of that panel lighting effect here on the back of the saucer. And as we rotate through the light, you see that metallic effect going through, and there's some more of those light panels, and then of course the pattern with the greens and the browns and the reds going through the saucer and the main engineering hull. Now we move on to the Nukara Strikeforce Vanity Shield from the Nukara reputation. So this is to make your ship look like a Tholian ship. So we have a very, very bright deflector array here. We've got the bright blue bazaars, and we've got the yellow in the nacelles. Yellow in the impulse engines there. And then we've got what I always think more of like a stonework pattern to the hull. Get that nice metallic reflection there as we rotate through the light as well. Certainly the secondary hull seems a lot darker than the saucer section on this one. Next up we have the Omega Force Vanity Shield from the Omega reputation. So we've got this honeycomb pattern here on the saucer, the deflector. Same here on the Bazaar collectors, and they're turned to white with a hint of blue to them. And we see some of the blue trim coming through here in the back of the nacelles. The blue cross work here on the neck, with the blues on the phaser strips as well. And then we see the blue again there, predominantly on the phaser strips, and some of the interesting shading and patterns there on the pylons and struts at the shuttle bay at the rear there as well. Next up is the psychedelic or the rainbow effect shield from the Temporal Defense Initiative, again from the Temporal Reputation system. So we have the yellow deflector here, an orange on the facade, yellow on the nacelles, and we've got this yellow lighting going through the underside of the saucer there, and this material here on the neck. Back here we've got the purple impulse engines or pink impulse engines. Again, see in the air here some of the pinkish purple there. You see some reds creeping out the front of the nacelles with the blues there. Again, almost a leather texture to the material from this angle. And as we rotate through, you'll start to see the hues changing as the light goes through them, and several patches on the hull also change colours as we go through the light source, especially these panels here on the struts at the back of the shuttle bay there. As we rotate through onto the underside, again you can see the panels here on the saucer as we rotate through. And then we come to the last of the Tier 6 Reputation Vanity Shields. This is the Terran Task Force, so we've got a very yellow deflector, quite a bright yellow on the Bajors and blue there on the nacelles from this angle. So that blue almost a cyan, same there with the impulse engines. Bit of dark grey to the hull material. And we see that blue or cyan circles around the outer and inner portions of the saucer, as well as some blue lighting as well. The next section we'll be looking at the summer and winter event store shields. The first batch is from the summer event store, and this is the baseball series. So first up we have the Andorian blue boars. So this is a blue and yellow and orange vanity shield. So as you can see here, the side hull looks very yellowy orange here on the deflector and the nacelles, whereas the saucer's got this blue with this orange circle going around it. From the back we've got the yellow again on the impulse, and then from the side here we see the entire secondary hull is this yellowy orange colour all the way through the pylons and the nacelles themselves, whereas the saucer remains blue. And then again we've got this patch on the neck which is a mixture of the blues and oranges. As we rotate through the light there, we get a nice little shine to it. We've got the orange coming in the command module incorporating the bridge. The rest of the saucer's got the blue and some orange circles around it there. And it's the same there on the underside. We've got one orange circle around the outside of the saucer. Next up is the Bozeman Titans Vanity Shield, so a yellow and grey shield. So again we've got the change to deflector colour, the Bajors and the nacelles. From the back again yellow impulse, and then again the entire secondary hull is yellow. This section here in the neck's got the dark grey lines to it, and then the saucer has got a nice yellow shine to it going through the light. Again taking the the module there is yellow, and the rest of the saucer's the dark grey and light grey and almost a tire tread effect going round the rim in yellow, and just the yellow rim underneath the saucer. So next up is the Caitian Claws Vanity Shield, so purple and yellow in this one. So again we've got the change to the Bajor, the nacelles, the deflector, these stripes here on the neck, yellow there on the impulse, and again entire secondary hulls one colour, pattern there on the neck to tie into the saucer, and then again saucer's got this nice glow to it as we go through the light source, the command modules, the goldy yellow colour, and we have a couple of the golden yellow circles around the saucer, and same again on the underside. Next up is the Deep Space Nine's Vanity Shield, based off the uniforms in the 7th season of Star Trek Deep Space Nine's episode Take Me Out to the Holosuite. So this shield is a mixture of blues, oranges, reds and whites. Again, we can see straight off the bat here we've got the deflector, the Bajor and the nacelles. Again, a red and orange effect going through there, same with the impulse engines. As we've seen in the last few baseball Vanity Shields, the bodies encompassing the blue here. We've got a section of the neck with the white. And a reddy orange on the saucer with the command module in blue. And same again on the underside there. Next up is the Denebian Slime Devils, the purple and green Vanity Shield. So again, as we've seen for the last few of the baseball ones, secondary hulls taking on the predominant colour. We've got the green throughout the Bajor, nacelles and deflector, and the impulse engines we've got some of the purple coming through in patches here on the shuttle bay and the rear. Predominantly the body is green, with this patch here on the neck with the purple stripes through it. And nice shine as we go through the light source, and the saucer's been the same as the last few, so we've got this tire tread pattern around the outer edge in green, a couple of green circles, and then the purple being the predominant colour there on the saucer section. And then we have the Ferenginar Liquidators Vanity Shield, so yellow, gold and green on this one. Again, following exactly the same styling as the past few baseball ones. Exactly the same points on the ship. I've got the colours applied to them. And with that nice shine as we go through. The gold circles on the saucer with the command module there, and the predominant green colour, and same again on the underside. And here we have the stem bolt, so a pink and white Vanity Shield. Again, deflector and the cells taking on the white here in the secondary hull. And you see here it's got the darker pink, the white for the impulse engines, and an off-white or a grey on the shuttle bay and the panelling there. Same again in the neck, with this grey or off-white colour with the pink lines going through. And same effect as we rotate through the light there, we've got that pink shine coming to it, and then the darker pink for the command module, the white and off-white colours there for the rest of the saucer. And here we have the Fek'lhri Vanity Shield from the winter event store. So quite an angry deflector. a very bright yellow on the Bajors and the reds that we can see there on the nacelles. A yellow impulse engine, this rustic red on the shuttle bay doors there. You can see it here again on the neck and other parts here, and through the grey on the hull material. And you can see it more so there as we look at the saucer and the secondary hull. You can see the panels there on the struts for the pylons. Yep. And that concludes the summer and winter event shields. Next up is the shields available in the Phoenix store during special events and the Zen or the C store. First up is the Alliance Vanity Shield from the Caitian Alliance bundle in the C store. Got quite a nice bright blue here on the deflector. This almost sun-like effect on the Bajor collectors there. So we're going orange and yellow with the impulse engines, and cyan blue here on the nacelles, with this gold patch here on the neck, same here on the nacelles. Then a slightly off-white saucer with the red rings going round it, and the module there with the dark grey and the gold colour effects there. And then we've got the dark grey circle round the saucer, the dark grey on the phaser strips, and this goldy colour here on the patching on the struts. Next up is one of the more popular shields in the game, the Bajor Vanity Shield from the Phoenix store. So we've got these circles of the very bright cyan there on the deflector, same there on the nacelles. Got the red for the impulse, this cyan lighting on the nacelles there, same with the Bajors at the front, and we've got a very smooth looking hull material with the red accents around the phaser strips you can see there on the pylons. Again, you can see them marked there on the strips on the saucer as well, and some of the blue lighting there on the command module. Same again on the other side, very smooth looking material, and you can see the phaser strips highlighted there with the red going through them. Next up is the Borg Vanity Shield from the Phoenix store, so to make your ship look like a liberated Borg ship. So straight off we've got this interesting design here on the deflector, this lighting effect here up the neck, and then you can see the blue there on the nacelles and the impulse engines, so it darkens off here at the back of the nacelles. The brighter blue come on the middle and then darkening off again. See more of that lighting and almost exposed circuitry kind of appearance here on the neck. And then as we look through onto the saucer, again we've got the blue and the yellow effects there. Same here on these panels on the struts, and you see some of the blue coming through on the nacelles there. And same again on the underside on these panels here. Onto the Discovery Vanity Shield again from the Phoenix store. So this is designed to look like season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. So we've got quite a white looking deflector. You can see the Bajor collectors there. A honeycomb effect over the red impulse engines. Again, you can see the blue in the Bajors with this design. The blue going on the nacelles, and this patch here on the neck again. And just a very light grey hull material with a strip there at the shuttle bay at the rear. Next up is the Emperor's Vanity Shield again from the Phoenix store, so similar to the Bajor and the Section 31, quite a smooth looking hull material. We've got the orange here on the deflector and yellow here on the nacelles. Got quite a cyan blue here for the impulse engines. I see here the Bajor and the cells with the yellow. Quite a shine to it as we go through the light source, and then we can see the blue lighting coming through here on the secondary hull and then the cells, and same as we rotate underneath, and then they fade out when the light hits them. Next up we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield from the Phoenix store, so make your ships look from the Kelvin universe, predominantly the USS Kelvin. So we'll have the blue pattern here to the deflector, this really awful looking effect to the Bajor collectors here, and we'll get the blue on the cell and a honeycomb orangey colour for the impulse engines. But this material in the Bajor collector just looks really bad. Now if you're looking on a KDF character, they do have the Klingon version of this shield. It would have been better if they'd actually just released two shields, a Federation and a Klingon one separately, and then you could apply either or on any faction. And our last shield from the Phoenix store is the Section 31 shield. So again, this interesting effect here on the deflector. On this shield the Bajor collectors get blacked out, except on 25th century ships that have the orange or red Bajors. And then at the back here we've got this very bright cyan blue, this honeycomb pattern to quite a bright red impulse engine. Very smooth hull material, got these groove effects similar to an Excelsior neck there. And then just a bit of pattern there to the phaser strips on the saucer, and on the panels there on the struts, and the phaser strips on the struts as well, and the pylons. So moving on to the final section of other shields in the game that have visuals. So these can be from the reputation system or mission rewards. And first up we have the Lukari Restoration Initiative Regenerative Shield from the Lukari Reputation. Again, designed to make your ship look like one of the Lukari ones. So very bright in colours here with the cyan blue, the white there on the impulse, the lines around the neck there with this very unusual pattern. Looks like a Lego wall from the looks of things. And then as we rotate through the light you can see some of the shading there and the glow off of it. Same there on the underside. Next up is the Adaptive M.A.C.O Regenerative Shield. This is from the Omega Reputation, so you can see a bit of a pulse going on here on the deflector, and the honeycomb pattern on the Bajor collectors there, same with the deflector. Red on the impulse, with the blue here on the nacelles, and you see some more of that honeycomb pattern coming through, and from basically from the top of the saucer right down the neck to the shuttle bay. Again, throughout, this is a overlay on your existing hull material, this pattern here on the neck, and that go there to the Bajor collectors. And as we rotate through the light you can see the blue shine to it as we go through. And same there as we rotate through the underside. This is the Aegis Covariant Shield. It's a craftable one from your R&D school. It predominantly puts a white light banding round certain parts of the ship, on this honeycomb effect again on the deflector and the Bajor collectors. And we can see this white band here on the edge of the saucer, and the lightening up here of the phaser strips. If you were on a KDF one, rather than it being white, it is orange, but we'll see that when we look at the KDF ships. And there's a better view of that rim around the saucer section, and the lighting there on the phaser strips. And we've got some of these black lines here on the lower half of the secondary hull. And here we have the Assimilated Regenerative Shield from the Omega reputation. So this is designed to make you look as if you've been assimilated by the Borg. So we have a green deflector. You can see some of the green conduit works of a Borg ship there on the saucer. A yellowy green on the Bajor collectors. Same with the impulse engines. And this green to lighten green along the nacelles. Again, this material not applying to the secondary hull so far. So again, this looks to be another one of these where they've missed out the body shading. And then when you look here, you can see it more so on the saucer. And same on the underside. And if equipped with the impulse and deflector array from the Omega rep, it does give you more Borg features to your ship. You'll see that in the Constitution refit video that I've done recently. So here we have the Bajor Defense Covariant Shield. This is a mission reward, so it's quite pastel colours to it. Yellow for the Bajor collectors, cyan blue here for the nacelles, and yellow for the impulse. Again, just very white and dark greys and pastel reds almost there. And you see that a bit more as we look at the saucer section and the panels there and the struts and the shuttle bay as we rotate through the underside as well. Up next is the Counter Command Vanity Shield from the 8472 reputation. We've still got the standard Federation blue here on the deflector with intricate rings of this yellowy green colour and this dark greeny blue colour, and then we'll see the nacelles have this greeny yellow colour to them, same with the impulse, and then we have the lines coming down the back of the neck there. And we've got the ridge effect here on the neck. Bajor collectors there matching up with the nacelles and the colour wise. And then we'll look at the saucer. So again, this greeny blue colour, bits of the yellowy green lighting coming through here. The ridges again on the panels of the struts for the pylons, and same again on the underside. Next up is the Delta Alliance Unimatrix Shield from the Delta Alliance reputation. So very Borgish deflector again. Got the green with some almost octagon pattern there on the Bajor collectors. Green there on the impulse with this gold going round the rim of the saucer. Bit of the green lighting there coming through parts of the ship. Again there on the top, more of the green lighting and that goldy rim going round the saucer. Next up is the Dyson Regenerative Shield from the Dyson rep. So again, very similar to the Vanity Shield. We've got this pinky purple lighting going through a pattern here on the saucer. See a little bit here in some of the panels on the secondary hull. But again, it seems to be only the saucer that's actually getting the pattern of this shield and not the secondary hull, like we've seen in quite a few so far. Once this video is finished, I will send it to Deca and see if we can get their art team to have a look into it. It's probably something that's been standing for a long time in the game, but Deca do seem to be taking feedback quite well just now. Next up it's the Iconian Resistance Resilient Shield from the Iconian rep. So I have this orangey deflector, a very light yellow there on the Bajor collectors, same there for the nacelles, and this orange for the impulse. Again, secondary hull's not getting the same pattern as the saucer's getting. And we'll rotate through here and you can see the pattern on the saucer. Again, just like the Vanity Shield, it's not lining up correctly with the lines on the saucer either. So definitely something that needs to be looked into. And this is the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield. So again, very similar to the Vanity Shield, make your ship look like a Tholian. We've got a very bright deflector here, the blue Bajors, and then we've got the yellow on the nacelle, slightly lighter yellow there on the impulse. Secondary hull looks a bit darker, a bit more going on than the saucer section. I have to say, secondary hull actually looks like quite an old version of the shield compared to the saucer. I don't know if that's maybe something else that might have gone wrong with the mapping perhaps on this one. Then we have the Omega Force Vanity Shield from the Omega rep. So again, this honeycomb effect on the deflector and the Bajor collectors. Got a bit blue here on the back of the nacelles themselves, red on the impulse, and then rather than having the blue patchwork that we've seen on the Vanity Shield, this one is a goldy yellow colour. Again, we see that on the phaser strips and around the command module on the saucer, and bits on the nacelles as well, and same on the struts for the pylons, and just predominantly the phaser strips on the underside of the saucer. Next up is the Prevailing Innervated Resilient Shield from the competitive Wargames rep. So very similar to the Vanity Shield variant, except rather than having the yellow panels, this one has the blue ones. And to be honest, I prefer the blue over the yellow. Now as I look through the saucer, you can see some of the blue lighting coming through, blue on the phaser strips, and then the blue panelling, which again looks slightly off here, going down the spine of the secondary hull. And there we have it, the same on the underside as well. Here we have the Romulan Advanced Prototype Shield, so it's given this green lighting effect to various portions of the ship. And it is allowing your hull material to still come through, with the red there in the impulse and blue on the nacelles. Then we see the green shading that's coming through the secondary hull there. And as we rotate up into the saucer, we see some of the green patching highlighted with the green lighting, and the base material of your hull coming through in the unshaded sections. Same on the underside. So here we have another rainbow shield from the Temporal Defense Initiative Regenerative Shield. So we can see here the purples and blues, greens, yellows around the lip of the deflector there. And cyan blue here for the impulse. Blues and purples there on the nacelles themselves, going through it. That's why that effect again here in this section of the neck. And then as we rotate through the light, you'll see the hues change just as we did on the Vanity Shield, with the panels as well taking on that effect. Now we move on to the Terran Task Force Covariant Shield from the Terran Task Force Reputation. Purple here on the deflector, same with the Bajor collectors. Very dark hull material, and then we've got yellow here on the Impulse and the nacelles. Quite a bit darker compared to the Vanity Shield variant. Again, looking at the saucer there, we've got some of the yellow lighting coming through with some of the purples as well in the lights. Same again there on the underside with the yellow lights. And here we have the Tilly's review pending modified shield from the Disco Rep. So this is the oily effect on water effect, which allows your base material to come through. So you retain your impulse, nacelles and deflector colour of your base material. And just gives this oily look to the skin of the ship. And you can see it changing as we rotate through the light source. And same again there on the underside. And here we have the Dielectric Oscillation Resilient Shield from a mission reward, one of the old Breen missions, and it's designed to make your ship look like a Breen, and this one has not aged well at all. As you can see by the effects, it doesn't look very smooth. The colours are a bit off as well, unfortunately. You've got the yellowy green on the impulse engines there, sorry, the nacelles. Again, just the material itself does not look very nice at all. It does look like something in a game from 15-20 years ago, compared to some of the newer shields in the game. Next up is the Jem'Hadar Resilient Shield, which is a mission reward for non-Jem'Hadar characters, and you get it as standard on your first ship when you play as Jem'Hadar. Again, this one's a purple and grey shield, so we've got purple here going on the nacelles, on the impulse. I see some purpley effects here on the hull. Again, grey on the saucer with a purple command module. It's very reminiscent of the baseball shields, where the body and the neck have one colour of the shield, and then the saucer has a completely separate one. Again, perhaps it just needs to be updated a bit for this particular ship. And last but not least, the Reman prototype Covariant Shield. Again, this is a mission reward. It's probably one of the first ones you get in the game. So it's very reminiscent of the new Romulus Reman Vanity Shield with its lighting panels, and then the colouring to the nacelles. It doesn't colour in the deflector on this one though. Yeah, slightly lighter green here, and almost a bluey green there on the impulse engines. And you see a better effect there of that lighting panel on the neck. You see it a bit here on the shuttle bay and the struts for the pylons. Bit more again there on the saucer, and that nice metallic shine to it as we go through the lighting. Secondary hull does look a lot darker compared to the saucer section again. And there we have it. That concludes part 4 of the Enterprise series. This has been the Ambassador class ship. If I'm honest, slightly disappointed with some of the effects on this ship with the shields. I'm sure it is just something that has been an oversight and can be easily rectified by the art team when they get a moment. But I will fire this off to Deca and see if they can even look at revamping some of the older ones whilst they're at it, because I do think it'd be quite good. As always, like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below, any ships you'd like to see done. The next few videos will concentrate predominantly on ships that bore the name Enterprise. After that, I will be going through some of the popular ships in the game and some of the event rewards that we've had over the last couple of years as well, ship wise, and showing the shields on them. Again, if you're looking for reviews, news, builds, Q&As, head over to Casual Sabs. YouTube. He's very entertaining, very knowledgeable, extremely helpful as well. And he also joined his Discord server. I'm on there, so if you want to reach out to me, you can do so through there. And the social media links are in the description as well, along with chapters and my affiliate link for real merch, where you can get 10% off your order on Star Trek ships. But until next time, have a good one.